Cool. So this is Dr. Michael Explains Ketogenics. For those of you that don't know, it is a nutritional technology, and it is by far the most advanced technology that I've ever seen. And it does things that it just shouldn't do. I'm going to start, and I'm going to back up a little bit before we get into the technology side of it and talk a little bit more about what is the ketogenic diet. The ketogenic diet is been around for over 100 years. It's easily the most clinically researched diet in modern medical history, I would have to say. It actually got its start back in France in 1911, but it's basically a diet that kind of waves its nose at what we call the American diet, which is considered like no fats, a little protein, lots of veggies, lots of carbs. This diet is lots of fats, a little protein, even less carbs, and let's just rebuild the body from the inside out. I don't know if anybody here has ever felt trapped inside yourself and like you couldn't get out mentally, physically, emotionally, whether it was weight, whether it was energy, whether it was depression, you know, a lot of different things. For us, it started off with weight, but what has me sitting in this chair right now is the mental aspect of it. Our daughter Skylar was born with Gastroschisis back in 2009, and it really took a toll on us. She was in the hospital for a year. She had a couple colostomies, and then her second year, when they finally released her from the hospital, she ended up having 100 hours a week of home health care. Her third year, she went into failure to thrive. We discovered another product that we use that literally saved her life, and she is now darn near perfect. But we were left holding the pieces for what's, you know, putting a family back together, having a child that almost died. And so we definitely had different levels of PTSD, and we did a lot of nutrition. We did a lot of emotional clearings. We did biobalances. We did energy work. We did more nutrition than you can shake a stick at. And that, when we got into the ketogenic diet, one of the things that we were hoping to do was lose weight and, you know, clear up some of our neurological components. And anybody who's ever tried the ketogenic diet knows that it's extremely difficult to do. It is not a, I'm 95% ketogenic. You're either ketogenic or you're not if you're doing it all natural, because one little mix up and you're out of ketosis for a week easy. And that's if you've been really, really good. So this is a diet that's actually been designed from the ground up, clinically researched, to actually feed your brain. The byproduct is weight loss. The byproduct is energy. But really what it was designed for was children with drug-resistant epilepsy back at the turn of the 19th century. And so when people got into this, it was incredible. They were seeing phenomenal results. And over time, there's been all different kinds of ketogenic variants. Most people have heard of Atkins. Some people have heard of Paleo. Then there's the caveman diet. And basically what they are is, let's get your lean proteins, green veggies, and fats back up. Well, they have some problems. Being that they are very high energy, they require a lot more water, so dehydration was an issue. Another thing is, because you go into ketosis, your body starts to burn proteins to make sugars through the glycogen cycle. You'd get protein in your urine, which would really wreak havoc with your kidneys. And so that really started to torque things. Well, when my wife and I got involved with this, and it really cleared out a lot of problems, we started to go like, how should we really eat? Well, if you went back a couple thousand, a couple hundred years ago, you'd realize that we ate seasonally. The American diet is a fiasco. That's the only way to put it. The way that we're supposed to eat, specifically, we'll just say with the Atlanta area because it's where I am. In the spring, we get our blackberries and our blueberries about May. End of May, 1st of June, that's when the berries kick in. Well, then in the summer, we get all of our veggies. And so we'll eat veggies for a couple of months. And then we get our starches and our potatoes and our squashes. And those are the foods that we eat to fatten ourselves up. because right around the corner in November, December, January, February, March, April, May are our lean months where there's basically only proteins and burning stored fats. So putting on weight quickly is really, really important. So that's where your potatoes come in. Well, this is a natural cycle of ketogenics. So you go through the whole winter where you're in straight ketosis, which literally starves out most health-related conditions. And we'll get into those in a minute. But when your body's in ketosis, bacteria, molds, and things like that, viruses, they don't survive in a ketogenic state. Well, then your body starts to restabilize itself with the fruit, getting some of your minerals and your salts and your sugars. And then the veggies, of course, that's where you get all your fruits. But you don't need as much as everybody thinks you do. The problem is we go to Kroger right now and we buy, fresh fruits and veggies, grab the meat and potatoes, and let's have some dinner rolls and some ice cream afterwards. And so we have a diet and a lifestyle that reflects that. An interesting thing to note that as I started to do the research was, if you look at the Eskimos as an indigenous population in the US, they have almost no insulin issues, no metabolic syndromes, no diabetes, almost no cancer, and their diet is 80 to 90% fat. And it's animal fat, it's straight off the whales. And, you look at that and you go, well, how in the world can we eat all that fat? Well, then you got to realize, if you just look at our anatomy and physiology, we have this little thing called a gallbladder. And that is designed to break down fats. So the human body, people will argue, well, you shouldn't eat fats, you should only eat veggies. Well, there's a lot of veggies that have fats. And there's animal products, obviously, that have fats. But your body anatomically is designed to run on fats, to create those ketones. So let's talk a little bit about what these ketones can do. Well, like I said, it started in 1911 in France with epilepsy, and then it came into the US in the 20s. And the results were phenomenal, and they started to use it for all different types of neurological, like Alzheimer's. Even psychology today is saying, your brain works better on ketones. Anybody that's got MS, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, autism, Asperger's, any of those things, phenomenal results with a ketogenic lifestyle. All of your inflammatory diseases, phenomenal results. Actually, ketones, which are known as beta-hydroxybutyrate, shut down your inflammatory enzymes. And so, that really helps with fibromyalgia, arthritis, things like that. The thing that blew me away the most was the research that came out of the University of South Florida. A few years back, there was a phenomenal research scientist named Dom D'Agostino, and he actually showed that there's a way to increase the body's ability to fight cancer in a non-toxic way. And that involved increasing the oxygen levels of the tissues, because cancer's primary cause is actually oxygen deprivation at the cellular level, shuts down the mitochondria. And then if you increase ketones, the mitochondria actually loves ketones, and it will run on sugar. Well, the work that he did showed that if you can increase ketones, increase oxygen, and decrease sugars, you all but eliminate cancer. And if you can maintain 1.0 millimoles of ketones in your bloodstream at all times, it's kind of like cancer resistance. Guys did research for athletes. If you've got some athletes, it increases their athletic performance. Imagine going to run a marathon and they do like the races and they talk about carb loading. Well, if you got 2,000 calories at night and you packed on a couple thousand calories in the morning, and then you had your sugar thing, you're looking at between 5,000 and 8,000 calories a day on a carb-loaded performance athlete. If you have 10 pounds of fat in a ketogenic state, that gives you access to 40,000 calories for an endurance athlete. Now, if you look at 2,000 calories a day as kind of the norm, that means 40,000 calories. You have 3 weeks worth of energy to burn that day. Now, as a parent with 4 kids, that's really nice for me because it helps me keep up. But that's where the performance level comes through. And that's because the mitochondria prefers ketones 4-to-1. It will run on sugar in the absence of enough oxygen. But if you give it ketones, the brain and the nervous system will always choose ketones. And basically what happens is you have hydrogen-rich membranes here. They use the oxygen. The ATP creates lots of good energy. And so now all the new ketogenic variants that are coming out, the research is cancer-fighting foods. Well, look at that first item. That's an avocado. And then when you get into inflammatory diets, it's the fats. Oh my gosh, the heart one, there's more fats. And the ketogenic diet plan for diabetic, the first thing on the menu, fats. And so when you get into the autoimmune cookbook, every single one of these books are completely interchangeable because they are a pure ketogenic diet. And so that's what they do. And the reason why is if you talk about energy, there's a thing called a macronutrient. Everybody knows what they are, they just don't know it. If you look on a menu or on a ingredients list, it'll say proteins, carbs, and fats, and now they'll add ketones. Your protein, your carbs are the fastest, easiest to metabolize, but it's a 3.7-to-1 ratio per gram. Proteins are a little bit better at a little over 4.5. Fats are at 9-to-1. And when you add in the ketone conversion to the fats, you get about 14-to-1. And so that's more than 4 times the use of carbs. And so it's just a simple scientific fact that ketones are better than glucose. That's just the way the body's designed to run. This research was then furthered. They said, well, we've got a problem with our astronauts. And so they actually did the information, went to Oxford and said, let's fix this, because the NASA astronauts were having strokes and seizures in space. It really sucks to be one of the most intelligent, highly trained, powerful individuals on the planet that actually gets to leave the planet only to go and have strokes and seizures because of oxygen and sugars don't mix. So when Oxford came up with the ester-based ketones, they were about $5,000 a serving. And that would get your blood levels of ketones to 1.0 to 2.0. Well, when the Navy SEALs were having some issues, this is Dr. Dom D'Agostino out at the University of South Florida. He's actually a friend of mine. The Navy SEALs were having the same problem on the rebreathers. And so what they ended up saying to him was, look, we looked at your research on cancer. It was incredible. We believe that the brain is a dual fuel system. We're going to stroke a check for you to fix this problem for our Navy SEALs because they can't carry the weight of the ketone esters underwater for extended periods of time. So what he did was put it to work and came up with an exogenous ketone salt. If you have anybody that you care about that has cancer, diabetes, any type of Alzheimer's, things like that, need to go look at this. This is on YouTube. You just do Dr. Dom TED and you're going to see the blue screen. Click it. It takes 10 minutes. Dr. Abby and I have one of those clinics where we can rebuild your body from the inside out. We can blood type you. We can figure out what foods you need. We have the best water. We have the best ketones. We have the best proteins. We have the greens. We have the exercise. We have forced cellular exercise, cold lasers. And when we watched this, it blew our minds because it completely changes everything because he literally has the perfect fuel for the human body. And what he developed is the Keto OS. It's an operating system that allows your body to get ketones without having to go through weeks and weeks of starvation and getting off sugars and glycogen production from muscle mass and protein. They say it's not rocket science, it's rocket fuel, but all the rocket scientists today are now using it. Does it work? Yeah, it works incredibly well. It is the only bioavailable ketone on the market. Everything else that I'm aware of is an L isomer synthetic. This one works so well that in 15 to 30 minutes, you can actually test this on a urine strip and see the ketones in your bloodstream. Just going to stay this real clear. all that research that we were showing you what the ketogenic diet can do, ketones are not a cure for anything unless it's feeding the mitochondria to give the body energy. You still need your fats. You still need your proteins. You still need to eat right. You can't just go carb load and take a bunch of ketones and think, hey, I'm doing great. Now, a lot of people start off taking ketones, but if you have any health conditions, don't go, Dr. Michael said, all I got to do is take ketones. Absolutely not. It is one piece of a puzzle that Dr. Nabby and I put together. Like I said, we do water, we do ketones, we do blood type diets, we do exercise, we do lasers. This is a key pivotal role because it gives us the ability to give this to somebody and they go instant energy to work on the healing process. When they were doing the ketone research with Dr. Dom, they had to get the ketone blood levels up to 5 millimoles. Well, in order to do that naturally without these exogenous supporters, you have to get into ketosis, which takes, you burn off sugars for 3 or 4 days, and then you burn through the glycogen cycle, and then you're being a purist, and your body goes, oh, I can start to make ketones on my own. After a month, you might get to 1 or 2 millimoles, and after a couple months, you can build up to the point where your body's producing a lot of ketones. Or you can drink 2 packs of ketones and have 5 millimoles in your bloodstream before you go to bed tonight. That doesn't mean that you don't need to do all the other stuff, because the other stuff is damaging your body as well. So just to be real clear, ketones are not a cure for Alzheimer's. The ketogenic lifestyle is. This is a ketogenic supporter. Again, not an excuse for poor diet or poisoning yourself. So what they're really, really good for is any part of your body that requires fuel. Sometimes you got to reduce your brain fog by fueling your brain and getting it working better. You need more energy to get going. Unlike most energy drinks on the market right now that kind of hit you with caffeine and get your adrenals going, this actually gives your body energy at the cellular level. And because the cells start to work faster and faster, they start to metabolize fats to create more ketones. The one that threw me for the biggest loop was how well I slept. And next thing you know is working in the gym. It was the strength and endurance and the ability to get your body to maintain muscle mass without massive amounts of protein. My son is trying to talk to me. So when you're working out, you're trying to preserve muscle mass. These ketones actually prevent the glycogen cycle, so you don't burn all your muscle mass and convert to massive proteins. The last thing is most people run their mood based on their food. If they get hangry, that means that they are angry because they are hungry because their blood sugar is trashed. If you get on ketones, that stabilizes because your body is not fighting the hypoglycemic response. If you don't think you need it for this, ask your spouse. The reality is when you finally get ketones into your brain, it is absolutely incredible. It starts to work in ways that we had never imagined. In fact, when we first got it, we're like, this isn't right. This can't be working the way that we think it is. It's got to be a stimulant. And so with our colleagues and stuff and what we do, we had several people that we went and got our brains tested. And then we had brain scans and brain mapping. When you do brain mapping, you're looking to see if you can get 10 to 20% improvement in brain function over the course of 6 to 10 weeks. Well, this right over here at the bottom, that scan, that dark blue means that that's very low output for the brain. This was actually somebody that had injured their brain. Well, he drank the ketones, and in less than an hour, you can see the whole brain is reactive. He had 34% improvement in under an hour just by drinking the ketones. Now, did that mean it fixed his brain? No. That meant that this part of his brain was out of gas. And he simply gave it the gas, and it started to work. Well, what happens if he runs out of ketones? Well, then he runs out of gas. Now, will the brain continue to heal? Absolutely, because it has the energy to heal. But I hope you get what I'm going at. So what you don't want to eat is according to the food pyramid that was put out by Kellogg's to get you to eat more cereals. This was a pyramid in the 60s, and you see all this breads, pastas, grains, cereals. Well, if it's put out by Kellogg's, it's a pretty good deal that if you need 6 to 11 bowls of cereal, yeah, that's a marketing thing. This bottom section can actually be completely eliminated. If you only did one thing and completely eliminated breads, grains, pastas, and starches from your diet, you'd be significantly healthier because the human body can't do it. Let me explain. We live in Georgia, so we're just going to pretend that it's 100 degrees outside with 100% humidity. You cut the grass, you sweat like a dog, you throw on your bathing suit, and you roll in that cut grass for 24 hours. Next thing you know, your skin gets all red, splotchy, and irritated. Well, I mean, come on. Everybody knows that that's just a miserable existence. Well, if you were to roll in that grass for 24 hours at 100 degrees with 100% humidity, what's the difference between that and picking up those grass clippings and grinding them into a powder and putting them in your body at 100 degrees for 24 hours? You're just not designed to eat that. That's for cows. That's for horses and goats and different types of animals that have ruminant stomachs, that have multiple chambers, that regurgitate, all different kind of things, because grass is practically impossible to break down unless you digest it. What do you really want to eat? Well, remember that little gallbladder thing? Lots of healthy fats, oils, avocados, butter. You know, I freely admit I use as an excuse to have a little bit too much bacon, but I like it. Good proteins, veggies, nuts, berries, in moderation. But when you're taking these products, you will literally start to feel limitless because they're designed to work at the mitochondrial level for everything your body needs energy for. Burning fat, preserving muscle, energy, the brain fog, the ability to focus at the end of a day. A lot of times appetite suppression, mood, sleep, digestion. It actually helps clear your skin because your body's not being so reactive to all the toxins in it. Does it work? Well, I told you, we kind of decided to do it a little over a year ago in December, and that was, I was actually doing a ketogenic diet at this point for about 4 months, 5 months, really strict except on the weekends, and I was working out about 5 or 6 days a week. This was 2 weeks on the ketones. This was 6 weeks on the ketones. Dr. Abby, same thing. Now this girl is like organic fruits, veggies. Do I have to eat meat? Okay, I have a little bit. And when she started to do it, it started to shred. But like I said, the second week, our brain fog started to clear. And that was really what caught our attention, was the mental clarity, the focus, the energy, the drive, the brain working. Going to cover a little bit about the products right now. The original formula was called the Orange Dream. It's like an orange cream flavor. It had the MCT oil that had to be bound to dairy. Some people reacted to that, and so they came up with a dairy-free vegan version, but they added amino acids and digestive health. I don't know if anybody takes branched-chain amino acids when they work out, but very similar in that regard. These two products, being the original formulation, are about 50-50 D-isomer and L-isomer. And that what that means is the D-isomer has the highest penetration rate across the blood-brain barrier, and the L-isomer is a little bit more on the synthetic side. The keto cream is has the MCT oils in it, but the new one has 4 types of collagen. I'll get into it in a minute. They released the Max product a little over a year and a half ago, and it really is Max. It's 100% D-isomer, completely bioavailable. It has twice the bioavailability of the orange cream and the chocolate swirl. So 1 pack of Max equals basically 2 packs of orange. The raspberry lemonade is my wife's favorite. I'm still kind of a Maui Punch fan, but the raspberry lemonade mixes really, really well in the summer with like margaritas, raspberry lemonade, things like that. Their new Max products, Abby loves Splash. If anybody knows what Fresca was, it's like a watermelon grapefruit. That's what this stuff tastes like. The Heart Tart is like the orange sweet tarts. I really like this one. What makes these products extra special is you see this little thing right down here that says AC11. Anybody who wants to be younger has to have AC11 in their life. It's just a fact. I'll cover it in a minute. Now, the amped versions, this is kind of like if the max is 2 packs of orange cream or chocolate swirl, the amped equals 3 packs. This right here, the Blue Ocean, is God's gift to me. I love it. I drink it. I take as much of it as I can. If you like pina colada and you like the Blue Ocean, I would tell you this. Order 10 boxes every time it comes on sale. Why? Trust me. This is the Midnight, which is a black cherry. Absolutely phenomenal. These are the jacked up products. And if you need to get stuff done, this right here will get it done for you. I had mentioned the Keto Cream. A lot of times people have been taking the bulletproof coffee and they mix it with butter. Yeah, that's so 2010. This Keto Cream has got MCT oils that have been specially formulated. There's 4 types of MCT. There's 3 types of MCT, 4 types of collagen, and it has the AC11. And it makes everything taste like the ultimate latte. It's easy to get addicted to this stuff. Another one of their products, because they got heavily involved with MCT oils, they started to work closely with Dr. Mary Newport. A lot of times people look at her, they know her research from what she did with Alzheimer's. And ironically, the 143 is the perfect ratio of MCTs, coconut oils, and so hyaluronic acids. And so what they end up doing, not hyaluronic, brain lost it. 143, and that was because she loved her husband, and that was her little logo. And so she actually joined Prove It and become one of our lead scientists. And we brought her product that she used for her husband with Alzheimer's to market. This right here is probably, now I love the ketones, don't make a mistake. But this right here is absolutely, hands down, the most incredible food nutritional technology there is. Dr. Abby and I have focused in on anti-aging and reversing aging for a decade now. With everything that we do, we've had just absolutely the most phenomenal results you can imagine. And this stops us dead in our tracks. This product got more clinical studies and trials pertaining to telomeres. A telomere is part of, the sciencey side is when your chromosomes divide and split, there's the little tails that break off. Well, when a scientist talks about anti-aging, they're trying to prevent those tails from breaking off. This product actually elongates the telomeres, which technically means that it's reversing that aging process and it's repairing the DNA. If you take this by clinical dose, 2 to 4 capsules a day, you'll actually be younger metabolically within a year from a genetic level. It will do that much repair. So starting now, I'm going to live to 120. We've covered a lot of products and trying to get them to go. Right now, we're in the midst of a reboot phase. It's a 60-hour reboot kit, and it is the fastest, easiest way to jump in. You kind of do a keto fast. You got some bone broth. You got your oils. You got your teas. You can sample everything, and at the end of 60 hours, you feel like a whole new person. And it's got the max. It's got everything already in it. We do it monthly. We've always done the 60-hour max fast. I've done that every month for over a year, so this was probably a pretty easy transition for me. The thing that I like most about this particular product is because we have a lot of clients and a lot of patients, they have a free product program that's beyond legit. Basically, a lot of companies require you to get started with their product and then become a rep at some level in order to get some sort of a discount and all that. There's no song and dance here. They just want to put the product in your hand and make it easy. If you get on the Smart Ship, you automatically qualify for a 22% discount. It's just that simple. You buy your product wherever you're at, and in 30 days from being on Smart Ship, your order ships, and then you get a 22% discount. If you get a couple of friends, now you're not doing the business, this is just you as a customer, because you're gonna love it. If you refer a couple people, you're gonna get the average of the top 2 highest orders you get. So say somebody orders $100 and somebody orders $200. You're gonna get $150 a month in Prove It bucks to use towards free product. The orange cream, the keto cream, and the chocolate swirl, you can get at 100% discount. The max is at a 50% discount. They're changing things so that you can actually apply more Prove It bucks to your order. Does it work? These are my actual receipts. There's a lot of, market hackers, I call them. They're imitating us. They're like, oh, get this because it's too expensive. Ours is a lot cheaper. It's hogwash because, one, if it's a synthetic, and they all are, the Max products are the only beginner product that is 100% D-isomer. And remember, 2 packs of orange cream equals a pack of Max. 3 packs of orange cream equals a pack of Ant. Well, 4 servings of some of your other off-brands equal 1 pack of orange cream. So it may look cheaper when you go look at some of the, you can go on Amazon and there's a bajillion ketone products out there now, but they're all synthetic. So you may have to take 6 to 10 servings to equal a pack of Max. Well, now it's not quite so cheap. But with this free customer program, this was $72 and I got 3 boxes of Max. This over here, 3 boxes of Max shipped for $55. That is $9 a box. That's like 80 cents a pack. It can't get any cheaper than that, and it is the highest grade. We have all of the who's who in ketogenics. Anybody that's an authority on ketogenics, they know who Dr. Jacob Wilson and Ryan Lowry are. They actually literally wrote the book, the Ketogenic Bible. There's Dr. Abby with Dr. Jacob. They're friends of ours. They are 100% on board with Prove It because they sit around in their lab and everybody who's anybody sends their ketogenic products to them to get tested. And man, these guys, they break down intracellular matrix of what's absorbed at the DNA level. Serious science junkies, and they're 100% on board with where Prove It's headed. There we are. We were hanging with Dr. Dom, Mary Newport, Ken Ford. Yeah, can't recommend the product enough. My wife and I, it is part of our daily ritual. We've got about 5 or 6 different things that we do religiously as part of our anti-aging and, reversing aging process, from exercise and nutrition and green drinks and water and all kind of things. This is absolutely in the top 3 of everything that we will do forever. Like, there's a lot of stuff we do that I'll let go. Ketones isn't one of them. We will absolutely do it every day for the rest of our lives. This actually belongs to a friend of mine. I made this up for him when he walked up on stage because he was all excited when he got the jacket. He's like, I'm going to leave it buttoned because I can. This was him about 2.5 years ago. And now that he's gone ketogenic, this is him. He's like, I buttoned my jacket because I can. I recommend that you follow Prove It now. If you're a promoter or a customer, you already know about this. They've got Dr. Ryan and Dr. Lowry are on there. Dr. Jacob Wilson is on there. Dr. Andy is on there. Adam Nally is on there. they actually have Dr. Mary Newport and all those people that they'll do on the Facebook website. So definitely want to follow it, definitely want to do it. And if you have any questions for Dr. Abby or I, you can reach me at Dr. Michael Explains. That's my Facebook page. Send me a message. I'll be glad to help out in any way I can. If you're looking to find out what we do more of as far as the energy medicine, emotional recalibration, biofeedback, reach out to us on this page. We can hook you up with our energetic lifestyle, and we'll do whatever we can to help. Let's see here. Do we have any questions? I tried to cover everything. Let's see.